Hi, this is going to be the last ever of this series. For anyone that's a new subscriber, what's up? Um, but for real, uh, if you go and look back at all my old vids, you'll notice that I talked a lot about coding insecurity and imposter syndrome and just general coding stuff, and obviously me failing out of computer science. This was a series I used to do where I don't know if I'd really call it series, but this is just like the pattern of YouTube videos I used to do, where I would just talk about things that were happening in my life. Um, just because, I don't know, I figured that if I was going through the problem, someone else might be, and it might be interesting for them to hear my perspective of it. I was more or less inspired by the Weekly Slap, which is what the series that Jay does, where he just talks about viewers' problems while playing, like, I think Call of Duty. I don't know, dude. I'm not a big FPS guy, so don't judge me if I don't know if I'm not completely accurate. But I think he plays Call of Duty, and it's just him talking. Uh, I was deeply inspired by that, and I thought that my goal was that I would just do this. I'd build up subscribers, and people would send in questions, and I'd be able to talk about them. You can already tell where this is going. That didn't end up happening, and so here I am, putting a bow in it, saying, "All right, we're done." Not because I'm not interested in doing this, but just because uh, I want to try other things. I'm completely okay with doing this, but you know, I'm more interested in trying to learn to edit and converting my streams into digestible videos. So this isn't really like an ending. This is more just a, hey, here's a progress update, because someone asked me if I could just talk about where I am now since I failed. So, where am I? I'm really happy. I'm really happy. That isn't some cope. I'm really, really happy. And I think that failing out of computer science was the best thing that ever happened to me. At the time, I thought it was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. I thought it was going to be a permanent blemish in my permanent record. I thought I'd never be able to find a software engineering job. I thought that I wouldn't ever be the coder that some computer scientists are because I don't have the degree. Um, and I just thought that I was going to always be at a permanent disadvantage, which I think is so far from the case that it's laughable. Some of the greatest programmers to ever do it uh, don't have degrees and they don't have a formal education. Uh, so me not having the degree really didn't change a lot. I'm sure someone with a degree would probably be like, well, you don't have the computer science degree, so you're not as great as me or this guy. Sure, man. But I think from my perspective, um, I think that you're only limited by how interested you are in the subject, and getting the degree is one thing, but being able to research and have the time to research or not to research and do your own things and explore options is way more powerful. And when I failed out, I was, like I said, I was heartbroken, I was crushed, but I picked a major called information science. This isn't super coding heavy, but it was the closest thing to computer science, so I was like, might as well. And I met some of my closest friends. Um, I uh, I was able to have a ton of time to do my own projects. You can actually go through and search up how often I was streaming on Fosh's or Super Joshi Party Animal, which is my other Twitch. Um, you can go see I was coding all the time. I was live all the time. I was working all the time. And not only that, when I wasn't coding or when I wasn't doing things, I was researching. I was trying to do things or I was trying to research so I was prepared for the next stream so I could talk about what I learned off stream. I was there was a phase where you could probably find it in my Google Drive, and maybe I'll publish one or two of them. They're nothing crazy, but there was a phase where I was writing down things that I was doing and talking about my thought process behind specific things. Um, I think the one thing that I'm most proud of, which is super stupid, as someone that knows, like if you're someone that knows what a quad tree is and someone that knows what pathfinding is, the two subjects don't really mesh at all. But I made a little research paper that's never been published. It's on my Google Drive about pathfinding with quad trees. And I did oh my god, what is it called? What's the pathfinding algorithm that's called where you have like you reward it for getting closer? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about if, whatever. It's like it's not Dijkstra's. It's well, whatever. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. This was a while ago, but I made a little research paper about pathfinding with quad trees, and I combined a bunch of different things, and it was so stupid, but it was so cool to finally have this. I have works cited at the bottom. I have everything, and dude, it's like my own little paper that's for myself. Um, I've done a lot of these like really dumb games, these crazy concepts, just because I was interested in them, and because I was in information science, I had so much free time. I'm talking, some people didn't even realize I was in school because of how much free time I had. I was constantly working on my own things, and a lot of my classes were either ethics, which I feel like a lot of ethics is just uh, not easy. I think it's sort of common sense, like specifically in the digital age, like talking about how you would secure people's information. Obviously, that's something that you would take with a lot of care. Passwords, personal information, address, all that. You should take a lot of care with that. And that was a lot of my classes. On top of that, all my coding classes were super low level. Like, I took 2 intro to Python classes. Bro, I had been coding for 2 years at that point on my own in Lua, which is almost identical to Python. Freest A's of my life. I took a web development class. I already had 2 internships where I did JavaScript, TypeScript, Vue, React. So that was a freebie as well. And I also taught a web development class. That same web development class, I met the professor and we bonded, and I was able to teach for them. So yeah, I had a lot of great I've had a lot of great moments since I failed out, and I'm happy. I feel like I know way more than I would have if I was computer science. I don't know if I've said it already, but I think that computer science is great, but in a school setting, you're going to be hammered with a lot of really hard work, and it's going to be stressful. And at least for me, it was stressful. And from my friends that I watched them go through the computer science program, they were always stressed. They were always working on things. It seemed very stressful. And I think that if I was computer science, I would have never gotten an internship. I would have never taught anything. I would have never explored Roblox on my own, and I would have just been confined to the curriculum at the University of Maryland, which is a strong curriculum, but I also don't think I would have explored things that I would have wanted to explore. So yeah, I'm happy. Failing at computer science wasn't that bad. If I could go back and do it over again, I don't know if I would. I think I would have tried it a little bit harder. Gone to class, maybe. Dude, I don't know if I said this in the last one. I didn't show up to a final for one of my classes. I mean, what was I expecting? Of course I'm going to fail. But I think if I was to go back and do it over again, I would do what I did in information science, which go to every class, do work, and when I was struggling, go to office hours. It wasn't hard for me to do well in information science because I feel like I learned a lot through failing out of computer science. Um, if I could go back and do it over again, though, I would probably hope that it turned out the exact same way. Um, I think that I would be a different person without information science and all of the time that I had to think to myself and talk to myself about what my goals were and to do all my research. Where I am now, I'm jobless, but sort of by choice. I haven't really applied anywhere. I've applied to a couple places, but yeah, I'm more interested in trying to do Twitch and YouTube, which is, I mean, dude, look at me. I've got what 200 subs on YouTube and 200 followers on Twitch. What am I thinking? I don't know. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm not going to let it go. So yeah, that's where I am. Um, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. If you're failing out of computers, or if you're failing computer science, or if you are or if you're like at a point in your life where you feel like you're at your absolute lowest, uh, you're not. And well, you might be, but use it as an opportunity to have a crazy comeback story. Use it as something that's like, yeah, I was here. I failed out of computer science, but look at how good of a programmer I am now. Um, or whatever is happening. Um, try to stay positive. Try to be, um, I don't know. Try to find a bright side and use the failure to try and motivate yourself to do something even better, something even crazier, something that past you couldn't have even done. So, with every failure is a great lesson, and I feel like I learned a lot of lessons by failing. And yeah, thanks for listening. I don't really know how to end this. It's 11 minutes now, so I'm just gonna post this raw. I don't care, whatever. I hope you enjoyed this. New video will be out tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow or in 2 days. I'm really gonna work my butt off to have it out. I'm hoping by tomorrow. I'm gonna try to work all night for it. So, bye bye. Take care and be safe, and also love yourself. If, like I said, if you're feeling like you're at your lowest, you might be, but it'll get better because you're at your lowest. It only gets better from here. Peace.